We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Well-Hatted Cinema Club. I'm Eric, joined as always by my incredibly handsome co-host. Give it up for Micah and Brian. Look at these guys. You know, I got a standing desk. I'm gonna use it for a reason. I'm standing up.
Get your steps in.
While it's going up, we'll talk about. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we just released our Oscar roundup video last week. So if you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. Oscar season, award season's behind us now, so ton of movies to talk about now that that's over. So that's going to be the basis of this episode. We haven't had like a real classic Well-Hatted Cinema Club episode in a minute here, so
call it the March releases.
I know
episode like that.
For real. And we're going to start by talking about my movie pick from way back, Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride! ! All right, now we're fully set up.
Exclamation point is important. It's not The Bride.
Points were made.
And I see why there was an exclamation point. You know, I thought she was just trying to be cheeky, but oh my gosh. This movie, I'll give a little quick synopsis. Is this Maggie's directorial debut?
It's her second movie. She did The Lost Daughter.
The Lost Daughter. Okay, got you. Well, it stars Jessie Buckley as the bride. Not just the bride, but we'll get into that. And then Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster, who goes by Frankenstein. You got some other known characters in here. Jake Gyllenhaal has a little role.
Annette Bening.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, I literally just watched this movie yesterday, guys, and I'm trying to like.
So wait, what?
Wow.
Is it because like we just didn't get to record, so you were just like fucking kicking it, just kicked it down,
and then I was like, all right,
that's funny.
And it's about, I guess it's set in what, the 1930s,
2030s, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of about
mobster time, you know, like
Bonnie and Clyde.
It's telling a sort of Bonnie and Clyde exactly story of Frankenstein and his bride, the bride, two undead monsters brought back to life. And really more of the story of the bride trying to figure out who she is, what her background is before she died, now that she's been brought back to life. And as the audience, you're kind of learning that with her, alongside with her. This movie, when it came out, I feel like just a lot of people giving it a lot of shit. Everyone was looking for a reason to shit on Jessie Buckley at the time because it's the popular thing around Oscar season. It's like, she's winning everything. Is this going to impact her Oscar chances?
Wasn't that bad.
No, I mean, I've been talking a lot, so
not her fault.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. I know it's been a little while for you guys, so
I guess.
A lot, so go ahead.
I guess we should probably just address the undead author elephant in the room, because that, I don't know if for you guys was the part that really took me out of the movie. Little these people might know that there's actually Jessie Buckley plays two characters in this movie: Ida, aka the bride. And the embodiments, the spirits of Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley.
And oh man, does that part really take me out of the movie? Like, I was really vibing with Jess Buckley through that, but every time she had that's funny. I couldn't do it.
She's got Mary Shelley Tourette's, which is something.
It's so rough, man. Oh, like it'll just grind the movie dead to a halt, because like there'll be times where I was like really vibing with them. I think it was the part where we're on the train, and I'm like, she hadn't shown up in a little while, and I was like, I think Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale had good chemistry. I'm kind of digging the Bonnie and Clyde on the run thing, but their monster going on. I forgot. Shit, there she comes again.
Yeah, she starts singing.
Yeah, it was tough. I really think I liked this movie so much, except for Mary Shelley, and unfortunately, it's not something you can just edit out because it is interwoven throughout. It is like a structural piece of the movie, which is really unfortunate because there's a good movie in here. And there's just no way to take out what I think is probably the biggest problem, and I also don't know why Mary Shelley had to be in this movie. There's a lot of stuff going on that I was like, I don't know if that's my favorite thing, but
It worked.
the prime offender is the Mary Shelley of it all, because not only does that open the movie with the ghost of Mary Shelley, which also means, because they bring it up, Frankenstein, the book, exists.
That's what I was thinking.
And so does Frankenstein.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I was confusing me.
And
but he also says, I'm named after my father. I go by my father. I'm like, okay, it's just to make anyone else more confused. But keep going, Micah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was saying, like, there's oh yeah, like so I guess what drove Mary Shelley to possess this young woman before she even dies is that she's feeling a shared anger about injustice towards women. Ada is a prostitute that is serving as like an informant on this mobster that's been killing these women, and then she gets possessed by Mary Shelley, kind of blows her own cover, and then she dies on it.
Yeah.
She kind of trips and falls down the stairs, dies. And then it's just coincidentally dug up by Frankenstein, who's quite lonely.
Yeah.
Right.
So it revived. She was dead, but that's the thing. It doesn't explain, like, when they revived her, was that Mary Shelley's plan the whole time to become the bride? No.
She had her. The very beginning of the movie when she's in the restaurant, that takes her over. That
scene was rough. That one, I was like, because like you said, it's not a perfect movie by any means, but there's a lot of this movie I really like. I like the style of it. That's good. Yeah. Even with the shaky performance from the fourth Skarsgård, it was like fine. Like everything was fine. The movie worked for me, and it's just like you said, Micah. It's not even like, oh well, if we could cut that one scene at the beginning, it'd be all right. No, it's interwoven. Like
because she every scene she's possessing her, and then she does like a fun rhyme game with words as Mary Shelley. So she switches accents. She's like, guava juice, chocolate mousse, and
There's a part where I think it seems pretty clear. Like they talk about how like that since you've been killing, a lot of women are painting on their face. It's like the feminist movement. It's like, this woman is an undead killer, and it's the only way that these women are getting their voices heard to this kind of extreme. Got it, loud and clear. But then there's one scene where she gets like down about something, and she's like, "What's she going like? I thought you were supposed to be the bride." She like, I'm like, it's just so like,
I don't know.
It to me, like, because I'm with you. Like, there is like the feminist movement undertone. Like, literally, the mobster, the gang boss, is cutting off women's tongues. Like, they're silencing women.
It's quite very literally
on the nose with that. But it
I think there's a scene where the bride yells "Me too" quite a few times into the camera.
Oh, I heard.
And I was like, okay, we got it. I understand.
Very on the nose about
I'm feeling the righteous anger.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. I'm with you. I'm on your team. Like you said, Eric. I'll let you continue. But you were saying, literally, he is silencing women.
It's not subtle.
They really are heavy-handed with it. And in the end, she's not Frankenstein's bride. She's not Ida. She's not what any other man decides her name is, which is like a huge point for the movie. Is like, what's my name? What's my name? She's not Penelope. She's the bride. That's it. Great.
Bride to no one.
And that's like, is that the ultimate like climax for the movie? Because I don't really know we can just go to the ending. I don't know how much
have a Bonnie and Clyde moment.
Yeah. They have
where
the Bonnie and Clyde
1 million
Clyde
times.
moment. Yeah, and they die. But I'm like, what did we? She inspired that movement where women are painting their faces and also just killing people, which was like wild. I was like, I don't know if they're doing that little montage of showing them stepping out and like leading a revolution. I'm like, what is it for? Are they bringing down the mobster? No, we didn't really see that. They were just shooting people, which was wild to me. But in the end, like, I guess her and Frankenstein come back. But what did we achieve in the end? I don't know.
We got our first female detective.
That's true. Yeah, that's the one.
She's integral because she's like they have this like.
They cannot
I
wrap
feel like
their
that's
heads
something
around
that
it.
was added. I don't know because like they hired these two well-respected actors. It's like Penelope Cruz and Skarsgård, and they kind of have nothing to do. But they're like, because we're seeing the crime, we're following Frankenstein the bride, and then they're coming behind and being like, "I wonder what happened."
We know what
happened.
Yeah.
And I was wondering where that was going, and
it didn't really go.
You learn a little bit more. Like she was working for Skarsgård's character, and he let her down, and also took advantage of her.
Yeah. I didn't realize how young she was supposed to be, which adds a whole ick to this whole thing. But again, I think the biggest part, like Penelope Cruz makes sense because it took me a while. I don't know if I missed a line or it didn't click for me. Where at the beginning, I'm like, oh, like she doesn't get the official detective title. I realized it was his secretary. That's insane.
They're like their own. Yeah, they're like PIs. They're not.
Yeah,
but then they do have badges.
Yeah, but that was insane that like she couldn't even get that. But then like they can't even wrap their head around her being a detective at the end. Like,
they're like, what?
They're like, who? The cops. In the end, she's like, stand down, stand down. They're like,
your man is on me.
She's like, I'm the detective, or like, I'm a detective. And she's like, where's the detective? And she holds up the bag. So they're like, oh man, I guess we got to listen to you. I'm like, why? Is she a cop? I don't know.
I think she is a cop. I don't know when we are, so I don't know if they're FBI, and that's why they're going across states and stuff, and they don't really have like a jurisdiction. True. They could be like first round FBI. That would be like who? Yeah.
It was a good pickup by her with the movie thing, because like on one hand, I wanted to be like Frankie, like creature of habit, dog. Also, like my man, he panic attacks, so he doesn't get to the cinema. But at the same time, like that was a good pull by her. But there were just multiple times in the movie where I was enjoying it, but there were like times where I'd be like, oh, I wish you hadn't said that. Like there were just like really cheesy lines.
Now and again, yeah.
There were some
I did like the dance sequence.
Yeah, that was fun.
I want to credit that one. Like I like a little whimsy in my film. And I thought it was fun. And like Carly and I were talking after, we're like, did that actually happen? I think it did. Like I think they actually danced. Like there was a lot I liked about it. There's just so many things. And again, it really boils down to the Mary Shelley bit of it, where it's like she would come in and just completely take the wind out of what I otherwise thought was a pretty good Jessie Buckley performance as the bride.
She was having a ton of fun up there.
They asked her to do something pretty hard, pretty weird. I think she did her absolute best. It wasn't her performance that was bad. It was like, we're going to have you do 2 accents and you're just going to get Tourette's sometimes where you just become like, see? And then like you do the...
and to that end, it's like when they start the movie as like, all right, Mary's like angry and that's why she's going to like inhabit Ida's body. Mm-hmm. And I guess she led this movement where the dead are speaking and women are standing up in power. But I'm like, we didn't see that in the end. So it just felt like a little like, in the end, like Mary helps her find out who the bride is, and she's like, "This is the sequel." But I just didn't. We were leading somewhere, and then I don't really know where we got in the end.
Yeah, it's way too confusing for a movie that's so obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything like you said, it was. That's a good way of putting it, because like there were other scenes where I'm like, when the cop pulls him over, for instance, where I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what direction they're going to go here." Like, are they going to discriminate because they're monsters? Are they going to put like, so there was a million routes to go, and then they just made this dude the most disgusting person. And then I get it, but it's just like, it was just like, I kind of took the nuance out of it, because it was like, I thought it was like going to be more tense, but as soon as she started doing that nonsense, I was like, okay,
Mary Shelley popped in, and you're like, okay,
yeah, you're dead.
We'll see you later.
Again, like I was saying, whoever was a cinematographer with Maggie Gyllenhaal didn't check. I thought it looked great. I thought all the set pieces looked great. I thought it was, I liked the aesthetic they were going for. Even though, where were they by the end? They were like Buffalo or something. They were Niagara Falls at one point.
To New York.
I think they ended around New York.
And then they were like Niagara, then they went to Indiana, and they ended back in Chicago.
Nice. Okay.
So I don't think they actually went far.
No. They kind of just did like the north
car. Lawrence Sher did this one. He's also did the Joker movies and The Hangover, so must be a big fan of Todd Phillips, which is interesting.
She kind of took the Todd Phillips team, I think, the Joker team at least.
I can see that.
A good bit of this, I think.
Actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Because it did feel like a Joker and Harley Quinn.
That's exactly where I was going with it. What do we think about Christian Bale as Frank?
Solid.
He's always good. It's This is classic. Christian, like,
do a weird voice.
Yeah. He's got the raspy whisper going, but that's his thing, and it works.
Sense. Yeah, because he's all stitched up.
I thought. Question about that. There was a scene. I thought he didn't have a doodad, but then I think he does, because they like pull it down. There's like a stitching, but they kind of.
She's licking.
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
She's licking up on us.
I get that, but like I thought like maybe he just didn't have one. But yeah, God, those scars are gnarly. You think they would have like sealed up a little bit.
I know.
I think that was the plan.
Yeah.
That's why he was like, let's just get one lady for the bride, please. And he was like, look at this. He's like, if we could just find one lady and do it all in one, I'd appreciate it.
Annette Bening's character has a line about that. She kind of goes like, your maker was insane because like even if you could revise him, why did he stitch you together from like 8 different people? That doesn't make any sense.
It'd be beautiful. And she was like, well, he's bad at sewing.
Yeah.
He must smell too. He makes that comment about the smell too. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might have just been living that bachelor life. I don't know.
That's true.
But
he loves the movies.
Loves the movies.
When you're trying to go through the whole movie, I think, Mike, at your point about like for a very like obvious on the nose movie, it was very convoluted and confusing at times.
Yeah.
The whole like trying to wrap my head around like what the purpose of Mary Shelley was
the
whole time was, I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know if she like, I knew she was like a ghost, but there's that one scene early on when Ida first wakes up where she goes to bed and she's like floating above her body and talking to Mary Shelley. Yeah. But then like the glass had broken from like the ceiling light that she had broken when she was sleeping. That was
from Frank sneaking in. I know, a little confusing.
Yeah.
But when he was still kind of a weirdo, doesn't really talk to women that much, he did break. They locked him out of the room because they're like, let's just give it a second.
Yeah.
And he crawled in the window and he broke the skylight.
I ain't gonna lie, when she like breathed on it and woke up and he just turned and smacked her.
Oh my god.
That was tough. That was tough.
There were a lot of tough scenes. Like when he met Jake Gyllenhaal in real life. Never meet your heroes. Like he just completely fumbled that. Like I was having a tough time watching that.
One of the rights in the dance scene. Thank God they get you right. They get you right out of that because I was also watching it like what's like the most unconvincing waiter in my life.
No, they look terrible.
Also,
they hadn't been bathing.
No, I know they were sleeping in like public pools.
It's a catalyst of the plot. It has to be like for the Bonnie and Clyde bit, like they have to escape always. They're in general the worst cops I've ever seen. They let them escape far too easily, far too many times.
Yeah.
She's just over here waving a gun at people. The cops putting her down.
You can't just open fire in a crowd, a ballroom full of people.
I agree. There are several points where she's just standing in front of like nothing, like there's nobody behind her, and when she's walking around, I'm like, there she is.
Not that she would have died anyway. She's not alive.
Yeah, that's the other half of it all. I'm like, what are the rules here with her? Like,
there's weird rules.
When Frank gets shot during like the police, pullover, or when whatever, with the detective and Ida kind of have their like coming together moment, like all is revealed. I'm like, is Frank like at danger of dying because he's bleeding out? But is he? I don't really know what the rules are.
I think it's like we gotta go to Guillermo's Frankenstein. Based off that science, it's about the electricity in your brain and your nervous system. So I think he was good until he got domed.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ooh.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We lost the allspark.
Keep in mind, this is a weird era too, because like, like you said, the cops are weird, but like that scene, the kind of the inciting incident that gets them going on the run. Obviously they look a little freakish, which is when they're walking out of that club. You know? And there's multiple witnesses of these dudes, but if you kill them, that's where they draw the line. Which is, I get it. That's an era. That's the of the times. Because, like, those guys definitely deserved it. They were going to beat the shit out of Frank and, commit some heinous acts to the bride. But then they kill him, and then they're like, that's the line. These good men died. I was
thinking when that scene was happening, and it's definitely, like, on purpose, right? To kind of, explain, like, that era, but also, like, in general.
Also, he is, like, an undead monster.
That's true. Yeah, they see when they see him, they're like,
on camera, and they're like, all right. I did like the way they looked. I like the idea of the goo that they pump into her, like staining her a little bit. I thought she looked cool.
No, she did. What I laughed at was when when she first comes to life and she's in the club, she's dancing on. I saw Frank be like, "That's my wife out there."
And they get no waiters like, "Hey, you can't sit at this table all night, buddy." Like,
not orders like
you gotta order something.
You can't dirtbag here.
You can't dirtbag here. He's like, you gotta order another drink. He's like, no, I've had too many. That's my wife over there. He's like, He's like, listen, man, you can't sit at the table all night. Like, you gotta order something or get out.
You gotta move. Which
I thought was hilarious. But
it's just a movie that was good. The core, the foundation of a good movie is there. But I can see why, myself included, had some things where you're like, I don't know how I felt about that.
Yeah.
The second Jesse Buckley.
How do we feel about like context for the year? Do we obviously Guillermo's Frankenstein just came out within the last 6 months. Like, do you think that helped or hurt the way this movie was received?
I'm
you
not
guys,
sure,
at least,
because a lot of people didn't like Frankenstein either. So
yeah.
This could have come out anytime, any place. I don't think it would have helped.
The same problem would have happened. Yeah. Also, you probably confused some people. Like, wait, so is this a sequel to the one on Netflix? No, it's not.
It would help to have read Frankenstein. It would help a lot.
Yeah,
they do a lot of like literary references. I'm like, that's.
Is this considered defamation of character for Mary Shelley? I think a strong case can be like, she's like, I wasn't that annoying. I promise.
Yeah. I like
I don't know what she sounded like. Do you? Like, she's
really good at rhyming.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Chocolate
was like
shake.
vocab, you know. She was spitting off the rattling off the vocab.
She might be like, your language. Oh.
What did she say? What did she say in that first scene before she goes down the stairs? She goes, I've never seen a pecker that goes inside itself. Oh,
like a belly button.
My belly button. Oh. It's like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Fucking stop. Somebody push her.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
And then what's his name from Past Lives? That was also that I just seen
he's a little weasel.
The Olympic movie. I'm like, what? He spends half the movie in a phone booth calling the mob boss. Like, they do the same scene like 3 times. And being like, don't worry, Mr. What so-and-so, I'm going to get her. And he does nothing the whole movie.
It was pretty funny when he's like, you got to kill this chick, Ida. And they're like, don't worry, already dead. We did it. And he's like, I would shoot that one guy. He's like, you did not do it. Go
that one guy, when he's pointing the gun at me, he's like, oh, pew, pew, pew. I think he actually popped him. I was like,
I mean, she's in the ground. It's not their fault that she was dug up by Frankenstein.
I know. That's a good point. They did do, like, yeah, no, we took care of it, boss. We buried her. Well, really? Because what's this? Honestly, I have no explanation for that. I am just as perplexed as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's good. She's down here now. She's a monster. I say we just let this one go, man. I think
it's tough.
We need her tongue. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, that movie comes and goes. I don't think many people are really talking about it too much.
No, but that's okay.
That's
all right. How many hats out of 5 would you give it?
3.
All right.
3 hats.
2.5 hats.
3. I'm giving it 3 just because
I get 2 hats and a visor. That's
2 hats and a visor. Yeah, 2.25. What about you, Micah?
Yeah, you know, I'd give it. You know, what do they wear back then? Fedoras. I'd give it like 2.5 fedoras.
2.5 fedoras is insane.
And they're in the league for maybe ass hat of the month. Unfortunately, this movie came out. Yeah, might be ass hat of the month, or we can just choose Timothée Chalamet overhang for his ballet opera comp. But he's back, so maybe hats off also.
Yeah, right.
Maybe both.
Yeah,
like winning an Oscar and a Razzie.
Yeah, I can see that. I get that one.
Should we get a little more whimsical?
Let's get more whimsical.
Brian, you talk about this one.
All right, I'll talk about this one. So next up, we saw Hoppers, the new jaunt from Pixar. And essentially, this one is kind of like Avatar, but with beavers. And they make that joke in the movie. The movie follows, what is her name? I'm going to blank on her name. May? No, don't quote
Mabel?
Mabel, thank you.
Mabel.
So Mabel is a young girl. She and her grandmother, they're very into the environment, especially this like glade or whatever. And essentially this bad mayor wants to plow, they want to excavate it for this like beltway, freeway loop. She eventually finds herself with these scientists who have developed technology to essentially, like I said, Avatar, take control of a beaver body, but it's a robot. A beaver. An animatronic beaver, bird, or what was the other one? A bunny they had at one point.
They did have a bunny. The bunny was didn't last long.
That did not last long. Anyway, to go in, you could communicate with the animals, and they usually use it just to kind of observe animal behavior. She hijacks it and essentially tries to lead an animal revolution against the people.
Her original plan is she wants to protect her grandmother's the glade.
She wants to protect the glade, but then she ends up finding a lot more. She gets in a little too deep. Let's say it like that.
She just needed the beaver to move to the glade, and then it just all spiraled.
That's right. Thank you. That was the original point. They needed to get a beaver because it's like what they call like an anchor. That's from Deadpool. That's not the right term.
Keystone species. Yeah.
Keystone species they need for the glade to bring people back, but they can't go. They won't go near the glade because, as we find out, There's some
Some
sonic
human
trees.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just tell you this. I don't think it's the greatest Pixar movie ever, but I had a lot of fun. Shit made me laugh. It was
I
silly.
definitely laughed.
It was silly as hell, and I kind of liked it for being silly as hell.
It was fun.
Some of the jokes really got me. We can talk about that. Yeah, Micah, what'd you think?
No, I liked it. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is like up there with maybe some of the more emotionally heavy hitting Pixar movies, but it's like creative enough. They're like, what if this thing that couldn't talk could talk?
Yeah.
It was more in the vein of like an Over the Hedge or like an Open Season.
Yeah. I
where
agree.
it's just kind of goofier and it's not all that.
They do jokes. They do jokes that definitely are just funny for the kids. There's one for the kids, obviously, and then there's ones for the adults, and it's funny. Like I think I was in the theater. There were parents there. The parents were laughing too. Eric, what you think?
I feel I echo a lot of the same sentiments here. Like I didn't go in. I kind of went and actually. I wasn't expecting a really emotionally deep movie or anything that's gonna make me question like have an existential crisis, which you leave some Pixar movies like wondering where do I stand?
What is a
life?
soul?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about soul. I'm like, what is?
It's okay. It's okay to be sad. Like loss of a.
Let me confront my emotions. But for what I think it accomplished exactly what it's out to be, which is a funny movie that tells like a good story. And I think like in terms of the characters, like I like that who you assume is the antagonist in John Hamm's Mayor isn't necessarily like the worst guy on the planet. They're actually trying to save his life at a certain point.
The second half of the movie, pretty much.
Versus like James Franco, or Dave Franco, excuse me, the Caterpillar.
What did you give him in the booth, man? He was going absolutely buck wild.
Yeah. No, I love the performances. I had a lot of fun with Bobby Moynihan was in there as
King George.
Yeah, King of the Mammals. I love that. I would laugh every time there was this new It got sillier and sillier. I had no idea actually what the movie was about going in. I fell completely for the Tom Lizard propaganda.
Yeah,
like before the movie.
I needed more. I needed 30 more minutes of him.
Yeah, I had bought the Tom Lizard like Fortnite skin. I was like completely in on Lizard. I think we talked about it beforehand or after the movie with Micah, but like Tom Lizard, not even for how much they marketed him. Not that big a part of the movie.
I think he was just enough. It left us wanting more.
Yeah,
part of the crew.
There's a world where it's too much Lizard.
They could have overdone it. I could have used maybe 5 more minutes of Tom Lizard, but 2, 3. I don't know. He made me laugh every time I was on screen just because of his stupid fucking face.
And he's so little. I know. He would just be on the back of a beaver.
Yeah.
The first time he popped up, I was dying. I was so happy he finally showed up.
I think we can all talk. Spoiler territory head. I did not see it coming, and I audibly laughed when they're having the argument of the king. Everyone's riled up, and the queen insect. You know the scene I'm talking about. The queen insect starts to be like, "We're gonna squish the humans," and she's getting in their face, and because she's a human, she instinctively goes, just laughs. I could not believe they went there.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
I was a little bit surprised they showed her remains being wiped off on the wall, which was like, I was like, whoa.
And then the catapult, Mom?
Yeah.
Mom? Dave Franco. I was like, oh, I feel bad for Dave Franco. And then he turned into a genocidal animal.
Yeah, and then there's low-key, they kind of got away with some crazy violence, especially towards the other hoppers. Like that one bunny gets decimated by
they're pretty upfront. They're like, listen, eat when you gotta eat, because they jam-packed way too many animals in a small space. So there's like, all right, pond rules, we're all in this together. Eat when you gotta eat. And they even bring up like, aren't those ideas conflicting? How are we all pals, but also some of us eat the other one?
It doesn't really make any sense. Also, what if the bear decides to eat King Beaver? Is that against the rules? I don't know. He doesn't.
You gotta eat.
Let me rub my soothing oils on you. That shit was
These little beaver oils,
I think that we talk about the most absurd parts of it, like all the crazy things. Like, Dave Franco's little fucking butterfly thing becoming a human robot. That was crazy, but not as crazy as when they go, we need to get an apex predator down here to kill them. I'm like, well, which one are they going to go with? biggest shark out of the
Great white shark.
That was
massive.
awesome.
That was
that
so-
made me really laugh. When you see them dive down, you're like, what do they get? And they come up with a shark. I was actually dying. But I think the part that one of the best, like, the background jokes, when they do it a couple times when someone's talking in the background, like adding a little bit of humor, and it's mainly for the adults. But like when Dave Franco's human robot kind of shuts down because they unplug him for a second, and he's kind of asleep, and Mabel's trying to take the phone from him, and someone in the crowd's like, "Yo, Mr. Mayor, wake up! She's trying to take your phone." like that got me laughing so bad. Like he's like clearly like shut down in the room. He's like, "Yo, wake up!"
So he said, like, "Oh, I don't think we're gonna vote." You can hear him murmuring, being like, "I don't think we should vote for him again." It's like, I didn't vote for him the first time. Just dumb shit like that. Like that shit's funny.
It's good.
Like you said, the hard parts are good. Like, I mean, like there's a scene they show in the trailer, the funny part with the phone. I liked the dynamic, although, like you said, Bobby Moynihan and the King George and Mabel, you really see that friendship and the betrayal when he finds, holy shit, she's not even really a beaver. I know they all hug at the end, but like I'm like Tom Lizard, and I couldn't even tell you the bear's name.
No.
Ellen?
Some of the animals don't have names. I think his name was Loaf. Oh, no, that was another beaver.
That was a beaver played with a stoner kid from.
I think that was Connor the bear.
Connor was. I thought it was a woman.
I think it was because
the bear's a woman.
The bear's a woman.
Was the bear's name Ellen?
Yeah.
Maybe. No, wait, no. I thought Ellen was the shark.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Ellen is a shark. I'm pretty sure Connor's the bear.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is so confusing.
Loaf is complaining at the beginning when he's like, I was caught by the bear, and then this new beaver saved me. So that goes against pond rules.
I'm sorry, you were right. Ellen is the bear. Fucking
Okay.
Diane is the shark. Because Vanessa Bayer was the shark. Yes. She comes in like, "Hi, I'm Diane. I'm going to be eating you."
Yeah.
That
was good.
I didn't even realize Meryl Streep was the insect queen.
Yeah. What can she do?
What can't she do?
A lot of Meryl Streep this year between this, obviously, Devil Wears Prada 2. She was mentioned in our next movie that we will be talking about.
Yeah.
But also, there's another side note, just a lot of Dave Franco this year, too.
Yeah, a lot of Dave Franco.
He's the kind I didn't really know he was in this movie until he popped up. So he did a lot. That's actually, Brian, you kind of spoiled it. So I did know.
Brian
I was waiting
ruin
for
it. Brian did.
I was like
it.
waiting for him to show up, and then when he finally did, I was like, he's actually pretty good. He's having a good time.
Yeah,
he's
having
a good time.
I did bring up I guess I didn't realize this. I saw a clip later today, and I then thought about that it's very not clearly him when he's Titus.
Well, it's not him when he's a.
I didn't know if they just pitched him differently or something. No, it's just okay. So that's my bad. Well, the thing is, I was sitting there, and the reason I said it because I was like, I didn't figure who it was initially. I'm like listening. I'm like, who is this dude acting his ass off in the booth? I'm like a fucking breakdown. And then I was like, oh my god, it's Dave Franco because he is screaming and also terrifying when he starts chasing them.
Yeah,
that shit would have scarred me as a child.
That was someone murmuring. He's like, I don't think that's a mayor. When his face is peeled off,
I don't think that's a mayor.
It's so.
So good. he was gonna basically essentially hemorrhage the brains of all the people,
kill all those people.
That was his evil plan. Yeah,
pretty nuts. But I would say this movie for me, it falls above The Secret Life of Pets Divider by quite a bit. The line, I enjoyed this. I'd be if I took my kid to see this, I'd be like, I had fun. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, if I was babysitting, I'd be like, you can watch that as many times as you want.
It exactly that's a good one. Yeah, for everyone because you take this with your family, with kids, they'll love it. You'll have a good time. We went as 420
adult
men. We went and watched this movie. We were laughing. I think Oren and Maggie went on date night and they watched Hoppers or maybe it was Jelly and Nate. They went and they
it was
Oren and Maggie. So, which Oren's not a big movie guy, it's fun for
he loves
literally
a Pixar
everybody.
movie.
He does love a Pixar movie.
But like you said earlier, it definitely doesn't quite reach the heights of some other Pixar movies.
But it's not the worst. What was the one where they were the water and the flames, or a couple? Elemental. Yeah.
This was more like a Luca type. No, it was a little sillier than Luca. This one was a little more whimsical because Luca got a little serious.
Luca was humorless, but Luca was
got a little heavy at the end.
It was heavier. Yeah, heavier.
And he like leaves his, no, this one was like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's more funny. It almost feels more DreamWorksy.
This also one had like it does feel more DreamWorksy.
It
had a
does.
happy ending, even though they can't talk anymore. Her friend the beaver.
Lizard.
And then I had to look up immediately, how long do beavers live in the water?
How long do they live?
Not
you don't
want to
know.
Not long
enough.
enough.
Well, I mean, not
Lizard.
as long as a human.
Lizard. Yeah. Well,
I just wanted more Tom Lizard, but that's okay. He was good enough.
but
He was great.
if there's any bet, Disney will see this because this made a ton of money. Like it already made like a ton of money.
Yeah, and they leave their movies in theaters for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna take the wrong lesson away from this, and we'll get a Tom Lizard movie.
Well, I think they needed this
standalone
win
movie.
because, like, I think what they did to Elio was pretty criminal. Because
Sure.
I don't think it got a theatrical release.
Yeah,
And
I think it did.
Oh well, if it did, it didn't get much. It didn't do shit. So they were like, "This got to make some money."
They had some behind the scenes stuff. I liked Elio though.
I heard it was good too. I haven't watched it, but I know that this one they're really excited. But I know, and what it's the director's one thing, and the writer, or maybe I'm getting this reverse. They have a Cartoon Network show called like Two Bears or something, or Bear.
We Bear Bears? Is that
Something like that? Yeah. There's like either the writers or the directors were a part of that, and I'm trying to think of which one. But
I never watched, because at that point, adult man. But
yeah, We Bear Bears was the director.
I've heard good stuff about We Bear Bears, right? Just like 3 kinds of bears, right? Brown bear, black bear, panda, or something like that.
So funny we said Luca because the writer was the guy who wrote Luca, and he wrote this one.
Oh,
There you go.
Wow, there we go. Yeah,
He's slacking. This one wasn't gay at all.
yeah. Hey man, they weren't technically gay. They
robots.
were. Call me by your name. Call me by your name. Call me by your name.
Listen, man, if I had $1 for every time these little gay Italians got in a bicycle and gated up around Italy, I'd have $2.
This is not a
We're
lot.
the-
Someone named Rico was involved. I'd have $2.
Unfortunately, once they turned into a fish.
Yeah, that's true.
It would have been
That's
an
true.
awesome turn if that other one, Timmy, turned into a
Timmy
fish.
Chalamet jumped in.
It turned into a fish.
Then Army Hammer hunts him, and Army Hammer hunts him for his meat.
Oh, that's
Jesus
exactly
Christ.
what I. It
Jesus
reminded me.
Christ.
I should have put it as my
I think that's the plot of the
letterbox.
movie. Maybe the Timothy Chalamet character is hunting
No,
Army Hammer for his meat.
That bit from the other guys where Will Ferrell's like we're gonna be a school of tuna and we're gonna we've developed a taste for lion and we're gonna come hunt you on land.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the whole plot for for Hoppers in a way.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
like once the animals
we
like,
developed
we're
a
gonna
taste
kill
for
the-
human.
Yeah.
Because it now becomes very clear that if they wanted to kill you, they could.
They would.
And if in a barbaric fashion, I might add. Like, can you imagine trying to explain that to the mayor? Yeah, he was driving to the coastal highway, and a fucking shark.
Shark dropped out of the sky.
The biggest shark I've ever seen in my life.
Quite large, great
It's
white,
cartoon.
Smiling too.
humongous.
That-
Yeah,
Did you guys catch the little jokes? But we can move on to the last movie. The little jokes they kept making about the Beltway, where like it actually really accomplishes nothing
no.
in the city. They
It's a
kept like
circle.
they kept making little jokes, be like, a commute that could have taken 50 minutes will now take 8. Like it's like they keep.
Yeah.
There's little things in the background that keep saying like it's like I want to connect people in the city to themselves. Like it's supposed to be like it's like a very like arbitrary
Yeah.
thing. It's destroying the environment essentially to be like that light you have to wait at. Now you don't have to wait at it. You can go around the city.
Yeah.
I know. They need
Let's
a
go.
metro line or something.
I know they didn't
really
exactly.
need.
That I mean, it was an absolutely colossally eyesore of a fucking highway.
And then, like,
Tall.
again, spoiler: the resolution they just shrank it a couple of feet, and it was none of this was a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, another thing. This movie got like dark at the end with the fire. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
god.
not gonna make
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I was like, wow, this is forest fire last minute, but
Yeah.
it all worked out.
It tells you, kids, your government puts the money towards things because they want to. They want to destroy your lake. They didn't
I know,
have
how-
to.
How much does one of those like sound trees cost? 'Cause
Couldn't
they
be
had quite a
cheap.
few. They had
No.
quite a few.
That
a
can't be
lot.
good for the people in the whatever. Your dog. It's like
Yeah,
my
we're
dog's
getting,
gonna.
we're getting in the weeds.
Yeah, you're right. Let's move on.
What do we want to do the
Oh,
How many hats?
The how many hats thing again,
I
Micah?
would give this
sure.
3.5. Dare I say maybe 3.5, 4 hats?
I did
Depending
a
how many-
3, I
Three?
think.
3?
Very
Yeah,
solid.
three
Middle
and
of
a
the
half.
road.
I'm on the 3.5, 4.
3.5 hats.
I loved it. I had a good time. I wouldn't go back to theaters to see it, but I'm like, hey, like you're
There is
watching,
one-
you're watching Hoppers. I'm
I'll
gonna
sit
check
down for
out-
that.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
sit down for Hoppers,
agree.
bro.
Now, this next one
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
look
see.
Tom Lizard highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, Tom Lizard highlights on. Now this one this next one you probably want to see in theaters, and if you haven't, you should do it. Eric or Micah, one of you, whoever didn't talk about a movie yet, talk about a movie.
Oh, yeah. All right, so
My
we've
God.
got Project Hail Mary.
Yeah!
From Lord Miller,
Mhm.
based on a book about this astronaut guy played by Ryan Gosling who has to go up to space to save the world because our sun is dying, and they've got to go up to space to figure out a solution, and he's the only one that can do it. That part's kind of in the trailer. It's told out of order, which is fun.
Yeah.
And he makes some unlikely friends. And now we'll just get into spoilers because I don't know else to talk about.
Yeah,
this.
right.
Yeah.
We're talking just a setup, just the setup of this movie that's actually told at the end of the movie. Like it's
What you see in the trailer is actually like minutes before the movie's over.
Yeah. I was trying to explain that to Carl when I read the book. I was
Is it
saying
also
like
told out of order in the book?
yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
what they don't really explain as well, and they kind of do, but not well, is that every time you see a flashback, that's him getting his memory. That's him remembering more as it goes. Eric, you also read it. And I was saying to Carly, I'm 375 pages into the book, and I'm like, you know that stupid bit where he's like, I put the knot in astronaut. I can't even walk. I'm like, that just happened. Like, if they put that in the trailer.
But you
Because I
didn't
guess-
need that for context.
Yeah. It works. It's just funny that was like, it is told out of order. It was a very, very faithful adaptation of the book. But like any book movie, you have to trim, you have to, adjust. But it is, I mean, Eric, would you agree? It was pretty faithful. Like they did not stray very far from the book formula at all.
No, yeah, this is definitely like one of the more faithful adaptations from obviously the content itself, but the way they told the story. And I do want to like give Gosling his credit because he picked up the rights to this before the book was even like fully published. I'm pretty sure. Like he
said like 6 years ago, right?
He's been on this wave for a long time.
He said, I saw what you did for Matt Damon
Yeah.
with The Martian.
Yeah, give me that video diary. I'm about to quirk it up. And he did.
And I was worried, like from the tone of the trailers, you can get that this is going to be like pretty not lighthearted, but like it's going to be fun.
Jokier.
Yeah, going to be fun, entertaining, but there are like big stakes here, which is the book itself. The book is funny. It's sarcastic. It's snarky. When you're reading the book, you can kind of just put Ryan Gosling in that voice and be like that. It works really well. And I think he did a great job. I think I really enjoyed the movie a ton. I hate being those guys that are like movie.
You just do. It's just the reality.
It just happens from time to time. Sometimes there's not. I like some of the different like choices they made for the movie versus the book. In the book, there isn't a voice talking for the movie's sake. Like
For Rocky?
Yeah, for Rocky, because he just eventually starts to like understand.
He has a translator up, like the text.
Yeah, but as time goes on, he just like learns the language, so he doesn't. It wouldn't have been as fun. You can't do that. Yeah, I think it's better to have a kind of a silly voice for Rocky.
Well, what it eventually becomes is, like you said, Eric, like at the end of the movie when you see the subtitles next to Rocky. That's what it's like for him most of the book, but that's not as. Yeah, it would have been. You need Brian Gosling to interact with something.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, interaction wise, I love that. Obviously, they're getting a ton of praise. This is our boy Greg Fraser, cinematography. Look great. It's getting a ton of praise for not using like green screens, blue screens a ton, or if at all. I didn't really read it.
I'm sure we're gonna find out later. That's like,
but then obviously having Rocky be like a puppet for as many scenes as they could, I enjoyed because it made it look and feel. Most of this movie is Ryan Gosling by himself with a puppet, so like that could easily fail in concept. Like that could not work.
We were just saying that we should put more Muppets and stuff, and like he's not quite a Muppet.
He's kind of Muppet-esque.
He's Muppet. He's a puppet.
Yeah, I agree. We should put Muppets, and that was a step, I think, in the right direction. I think Ryan Gosling actually said in an interview that he's like, I love the Muppets. He was talking about working with puppets.
He's a song and dance man.
So yeah, like Eric, you said, I think for me, when I like the book better, but anything I liked from the book was just like any book to movie adaptation, you had to trim. Like the only things I liked better were just things that had to get whittled. Like you get a lot more in depth about Yao and I can't remember her name. It starts with an I. She's the girl, one of her two crewmates who died. Right. You get a lot more on that. You get a lot more about Strat, that woman, and him on Earth. You get a lot more details. But again, had to trim it. I get it. And you also learn more about Rocky They don't say this in the movie. He was out there for 45 years before Grace pulls up. So that's why he's so fucking stoked to see him. So, but like that's stuff that just hard. You have 500 pages of book versus a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
But this thing, I think it looked great. Like I think it really showed the depth of space. I think for a movie that didn't really have, it was a lot more dialogue, not as action heavy. That one action scene they do it really well. That should have me clenching my cheeks in the seat. And I knew it was going to happen.
A lot of like classic space action.
Yeah.
Fuel trouble, spacewalk gone wrong, landing, taking off. Spinning, all that stuff, which is all like I thought done well.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard they really glammed up space because they went really far out. So let's play around with how it looks and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And they know that in the patrol sequence only visible in the infrared, so like fuck it. Now the camera's infrared. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I'm very excited because I'm rewatching it on Wednesday with Riley this time in Dolby, so I'm excited to see maybe some of the sound differences because I know it's Daniel Pemberton who did the score for
Loud
movies. So obviously they brought a lot of that same team over between Lord and Miller. But I'm excited to watch the second act again too, specifically because when I first was watching it, I felt like we really kind of like slowed down. It got a little too jokey for a while in the middle, but like you also have to build. Rocky's so beloved by people that have read the book that you needed to kind of like really build his personality up and make him the joke man and have Ryan Gosling play the straight man for a long time.
Confession, there was a bit in the middle where my eyes were getting real heavy. Sun was getting real low.
Which bit?
I was fighting. I was like, please something blow up. I don't know, but then it did.
I was going to say the pace. Yeah. The pacing, that was my thing. I agree with you, Mike. I was a little like, we're kind of trudging here. We need to get back onto the
everything in the no. I was gonna say I'm with you. I'm saying Eric. I think you agree with the book, Michael. Like you're saying a lot of these things. There was way more problem solving. So those slower parts in the movie is inner dialogue for Grace trying to figure out a problem, or him and Rocky trying to solve something. And I feel like in the movie it kind of started. They kind of just had them floating around touching stuff, and then it didn't really look the same. It didn't really hit the same. Sorry, Eric. I cut you off. I just wanted to say that.
Mike, did you have another point? I was gonna keep going on mine.
No, keep going.
No, I mean, I haven't read the book. I understand that. I think the movie did a great job of balancing those, like having to go back and forth. But for me, I think the hardest, like they did trudge along just for a little bit there in the middle. And it's a long movie. Like this has a long run time for a movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think necessarily they could have cut too much more because you have to do a ton of world building and explaining, and they cut out a lot. Like, obviously, we know in the book they like nuke Antarctica to like release greenhouse gases.
Yeah, they do the Sahara thing.
That would have looked crazy in the movies, but they were like, we're not going to do that. But I will say, out of the other, I like Gosling's performance. Rocky's Rocky. Strat's a character. They went a different route with her in the movie, and they made her and Gosling like.
That's Sandra Hüller.
Yes, Sandra Hüller. And I liked her performance. I liked it.
It was very different than the book Strat, though, Eric.
They're not. Right. I was getting romantic vibes from them.
It's not like no,
but in like a sciencey, autistic kind of a way. I thought these were.
She is a cold-hearted. She's a cold-hearted woman in the book.
I think I like the book route more, but I understand for what Gosling's going for and what they were going for this movie. They want this to be a family-oriented, like light, a little more lighthearted in a sense, rather than they could have gone a little more like deeper. Where in the book, Strat's kind of way more of like a hardo, and in the end, like when she betrays him, like a straight up villain. And there's a great scene where when she betrays him at the end, she's calling him like a coward and basically be like, I don't respect you. Like I've kept you around because I also knew like blah, blah, blah. You had these genetics that could put you in the coma. Like basically you're a coward. I'm sending you up there.
She goes, I know you'll do the right thing, right? She's like, I don't respect you. You're a coward, but I know you're a good man. And when I put you up there, you'll do the right thing.
And that happens right before Ryan Gosling has to decide, or Grace has to decide whether he goes home or goes and sacrifices himself to go save Rocky, pretty much. Which makes that like final decision like hit a little bit harder in the book. So in the movie, it's still nice, but it didn't hit as hard for me. So that's just like maybe the one thing from the book to the movie I would have liked to see more. But I also get it because in the end, it's played off to be way more like everybody wins. Like,
Yeah.
happy.
I think they took. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Both ways. He can still go home. You know.
Yeah,
that
technically.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that actually does happen in the book too. He does have the opportunity, but he's older in the book by this point, so he's kind of like, I don't even know if I'd make the journey, bro. But I think, Eric, you said that. I think what they did was they take this character, Ryland Grace, and all the things you had to got in the book, that you have all these nuances to his character, these relationships he's made with Strat, with Rocky, and I think they decided to really focus on the friendship dynamic between Rocky and Grace, and I think they did that very well. But yeah, and to do so, they had to whittle down his relationships with the other scientists, his relationship with Strat. They had to make cuts. But I think the things this movie did really well, a couple things I really liked. Well, one thing I liked was, because I saw the puppeteer talk about it, that this movie very easily could have been Ryan Gosling working with a tennis ball. They decided to go the puppeteer route, and I like that because of the chemistry that they got with the puppeteer, one of the puppeteers, James Ortiz, they kept him as the voice actor rather than, there was a world, right, where it could have been like a recast, you know what I mean? They casted somebody as Rocky, the voice, but I guess Gosling and him built up a good enough rapport that they were like, why don't we just use his voice? And I think that's cool, that one of the puppeteers is the voice of Rocky. And I like the part that, like, somebody said this, I think the reason why it hits well, it's almost like a Disney, like, you could almost picture this movie as like a Pixar, like a kid's movie, but just now on a bigger scale. In the sense, like, you know, it's a zany.
Feel, I would say, like, on the soft side of like a 4-quadrant. Like family action movie.
I mean that as a complimentary thing. I'm like, it's a more serious movie. It's a lighter-hearted, serious movie, but it would be a very serious toned kids movie. Do you think that make sense? Where it's like, but I think it works. Like, I think it you get that feeling of joy right when he goes back for Rocky. You know, when him and Rocky have their nice ending and them bonding over these things, and I think that's a good thing. It doesn't need to be like as The Martian serious, or is The Martian even that serious?
The Martian, I'd say it came off like softer than Interstellar, even.
Yeah.
And that was my point too. With like a lot of similar, there's a lot of crossover between Interstellar here in this movie. Like, and it did a great job of differentiating that tone, which to your point, Brian, about going for like a little bit more lighthearted. I think that's like a not a niche, but something that hasn't been fulfilled in those other movies we've mentioned. And I think that really is what's like making this movie like overperform right now, because anyone can really watch this movie. So
I think it's occupying a space that has been abdicated by Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. It's a good family space. And I think what this movie offers is something where this is how I see it. You're either really high on this movie, like someone like me read the book, I loved it, I loved the theater, so I'm probably higher on this movie than most people. But I think even the floor for this movie is probably someone being like, looked cool, and I guess it was kind of funny and sweet, you know what I mean? It hits that spot where, like, yeah, like maybe it's not taking as many bold risks as some other movies, but it works. And like you said, it's a space that I think people have been looking for. A good adventure in space, to likable leads.
Do you think this does better box office wise or worse than Mandalorian and Grogu?
I don't know. Star Wars is weird.
Come on.
Better. I want to go better.
No guts, no glory,
I'm going better. I'm going better. Fuck that movie. Fuck that fucking ass puppet. Sorry. No, better puppet. I mean, Team Rocky.
Yeah, and like we've talked in a year full of little guys between Rocky, Grogu, and Tom Lizard.
That's my next question.
Grogu used to be on top of the mountain.
Gun to your head, Rocky or Tom?
I gotta go Rocky, bro.
I'm going Rocky because he's got way more.
Now, when the Tom Lizard sequel comes out, that's cool. I get it.
Tom Lizard, hey man.
I love Rocky. Rocky from the book too, Eric. I feel like when you read the book, he's also like he's my. They did
a great job of bringing him to life, and I think that's like where if they had failed that. And I didn't know that. I didn't know the voice was
one of the puppeteers. There's a few puppeteers.
What I loved was like I did see like an interview on the red carpet with Gosling. They asked him like his favorite scene from the movie, favorite line, but and it's like they improvised with the puppeteer when he was just like talking about his Grace talking about his ex-girlfriend. He's like, yeah, she's with this guy named Mark, and then Rocky's like, Rocky no like Mark, and I was like, that's funny as well.
I don't know I don't know the full story, but from what it seems like, because they're like, oh, well, James just had it down, where it's like they probably had Ryan like do a bunch of testing, and they were probably testing the puppet a lot. And I'm just guessing that Ryan and Gosling and this guy James probably did it just to start, you know, like get the feel for the puppet, and then they were like, well, why they have good chemistry, why bother recasting the fucking dude? He can do the voice. Like,
he also does that for a living. He's like from theater, so like,
yeah,
you know, everyone's like, hire more voice actors, you know.
Yeah,
the difference between like Hoppers, which is like half cast full of SNL people, versus like, you know,
yeah. No, he was great. I thought he was great.
I don't know how much I want to believe. It's the same. I saw another interview with the guy that plays Carl, who's from The Bear. Which he's an actor. Like, you know, he's around, and I haven't really seen him in a ton of movies, but seeing him in this was great. But saying,
well,
like,
he's a Loiter Squad alum.
Yeah, he was a Loiter Squad guy. That's why I know him. Yeah,
that just broke my brain. But him saying like, yeah, the role was supposed to be way smaller, and as the movie went on, like him and Ryan started like bantering a little more, and then that whole like shopping scene, they just kind of went into like a Walmart and or a Lowe's and started improvising shit. Like they just had fun.
Yeah.
So which makes sense, you know.
I think that was a big thing that Lord and Miller into, which makes you wonder, what was their solo thing like? What was the set of that like before they got booted after 2 months of filming and Ron Howard took over? I don't know.
I think, well, a couple
I'm not saying it would have been better. I'm just saying it.
Eric, you were like, where could we lose time? Some of the stuff that they added because it was fun and they liked it, maybe that's where you've added additional time.
Sure.
Maybe ended up putting you in a spot where maybe it does get a little muddy in the middle. And then, you know, this, you know, they built one set and then they had, you know, some of the Earth stuff go down. But you're pretty contained for the most part. I could see on a Star Wars movie, it's starting to get like, hey, every day we're doing this. This is getting more and more expensive, more stuff. You didn't build it like once and then like you have it. It's like, you know, every time let's add this, now it's like, you know, you got to animate that fully. And then you bring in a Ron Howard who is like a studio juggernaut. He will deliver your movie as you want. That's true.
Yeah. Plus they brought also, I imagine, like with this one, I think this movie allowed them, like they have this route they're following, but freedom to go. Whereas I feel like with Solo, they had a script and they were like, no, you cannot do this with this character. Like Han Solo and Lando these things need to happen with them. Like,
well, because then you'll have like an army of nerds being like, actually,
and the change, and the change. Come down, Mike. I think the changing locations was a big one because I think they were helped by the fact for this one they really only had a few spots, and they were probably like, yeah, you know what, Marcus is the character from the Bear, but you know what I'm talking about, Carl. They're like, banter a little more. You got time. We're in this Lowe's for another 2 hours. Might as well
just go to a Lowe's. Yeah, there's no Lowe's in Star Wars.
Like,
I don't think Lowe's is blowing the budget.
No, or like to that point, like we've seen Star Wars movies. There's a track you follow. Like as much you can deviate a little bit from the course, but it's like it's a roller coaster. There's a formula for better or for worse that you're gonna follow. When you break from it, you either get something great that's well received, maybe critically, like an Andor. But it could piss
off.
How
much did Andor cost?
Yeah,
like 600. Was it like $600 million?
And it didn't do all that well.
Exactly.
In my heart, it did.
It's so interesting, like bringing up the Star Wars conversation, especially with Mando and Grogu coming out, because in my heart of hearts, like this movie's performing super well with Gosling, and through one weekend, obviously, but it overperformed for what it was like projected. Mando and Grogu, like this is the first Star Wars movie to come out in 7 years.
Has it been that long? It's 2019
was Rise of Skywalker.
Wow, that's insane.
And it is going to be a long episode of The Mandalorian, is what it's looking to shape up to be. I mean, I'm very jaded about it.
Which is maybe I don't think it just doesn't. Years too late.
I don't think this is. I don't think to your Mike. I don't think they're capitalizing on the hype. I think it's not gonna make a ton of money
unless it's good.
Well, they'll leave it in theaters. They will just leave it in theaters. Yeah. It'll make us money.
We're gonna look at next year. Gosling just made all of this, got a lot of goodwill from this movie. He's coming back with Starfighter next year, and it's gonna be a light tone because it's a Sean Levy movie set in Star Wars. It's Gosling back in space. I could see that doing pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Even if Grogu flops, it's different. It's a original story. I say in air quotes. I know nothing about the plot, but
I mean, we're still early into Project Hail Mary's box office, but this would, if it does well, it would be Ryan Gosling's only I led the movie hit in his career.
Because The Nice Guys flopped.
Yep.
Shameful. But
Can't
yeah.
count Barbie, not his movie.
Yeah, not his movie. No, I
Even
get
though
it.
he was a big part of Barbie, you didn't sell it on come see Ryan Gosling.
That's true.
I agree.
Blade Runner
First Man
2049.
flopped.
No, I mean his last couple
49
projects
flops.
like Fall Guy.
Good movies too.
Yeah.
Just well, not the Fall.
So
I never seen
what
the Fall
I'm
Guy.
saying
But...
is, I'm saying is this is coming at a good time. Obviously,
Yeah.
I can see it. I would bet my nuts it's going to lead the box office again this coming weekend. And I just think it's going to set it. He's going to get a lot of goodwill for this movie.
Yeah.
In general, people love it. It's making money. Which fares well for Star Wars. It's exactly what they're going to want leading into Starfighter, because I bet Star Wars is going to be in a pretty bleak place after Mando and Grogu comes out if it isn't looking great.
We'll see what happens. We'll see who they can pull out of the woodwork.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. It's just funny. Also, Micah, now you're going to blow Micah something back. I'm like, damn, did Drive flop too? I think it did.
Yep.
I think Drive flopped.
I mean, I'm not
These are good
blame
movies
him,
too. No,
not
these
to-
are good.
Yeah,
these
he's
are good
not bad.
movies.
He's not bad, but he had a
Yeah.
little bit of a run where he was actively putting these directors in prison.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, I know
Damien Chazelle back
Yeah,
next year after First Man.
I'm curious.
Oh no, not after First Man, but
after
didn't
Babylon.
help.
Then Babylon,
Flops in a row.
Yeah,
He also got him an Oscar, so you can.
yeah.
You can't,
I get, yeah. Not his
Listen,
movie.
I was gonna say, yeah.
He had a part. I wouldn't say that made a lot of money though.
No.
I don't know.
No, but I'd also, yeah.
It was
like,
wildly successful.
How many of those movies are making a ton of money?
That's
at the end
fair.
of it?
That's fair.
Yeah, I am curious. So I do have to get moving in a minute, but the I'm wondering now as we grow closer, and we all saw that trailer. We talked about when early in this pod about the Doomsday thing, and like I'm just thinking about that, like movies coming out this fall, and so, like what is going to happen that weekend? Because the Dune 3 hype train is in full chug now, and Doomsday hasn't released anything, but it's Marvel. It'll make money. I feel like somebody has to fold. But will they? You don't think so? You think they're going to stand strong?
Well, Dune has no reason to move because they have the agreement with IMAX.
Yeah.
I think I saw that Marvel is pivoting to getting exclusivity over the AMC XL, and they're going hard for Dolby. So they're still going to have like all the other premium formats.
I know, it's just kind of crazy, like why they put those subs. Like, I think it's not. Some people are like, "Well, it's like Doomsday, kind of like Barbenheimer." I'm like, no, it's not. It's like really just shooting both of you, kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Nightmare for some. Be like, babe, let's go do both. Be like, oh, actually, my nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some people who are like, I would not watch either of these.
Yeah,
we know, like what am I trying to say here? We've seen the Marvel movies, like how they perform at box offices. Like, there's a long road here that like what I'm asking, trying to figure out is for you guys, what is the measure of success for this Marvel movie? Is it clearing $1 billion? Because
I think you have to as an Avengers movie.
In the same breath, does Brand New Day need to clear $1 billion?
It does need to, will, and then we'll see how much of that can help Doomsday.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big fix.
Right.
If Brand New Day has a big success, it could change the game.
I think
it looks pretty good.
Success has a huge portion of that is impacted by how people feel about Brand New Day, which is coming out in
strong
June,
trailer to start, at least a buzz to buzz some interest. I just think I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck, and this is me. I'm not seeing Doomsday opening weekend. I'll fucking wait till Monday. I'd see Dune twice before I see Doomsday, and that's just me. And you can quote me.
I mean, I'm just gonna watch both.
Yeah, I am gonna see both, but it's just like I just saying fuck that though. Like I'm glad IMAX. As long as Dune's got IMAX, I'm good. But I do have to wrap up here, guys. So
yeah.
Word.
Well, we appreciate y'all watching. We'll be back next week. I think our movie is gonna be a mystery. Because
whatever
I think we know
probably they will kill you.
We're all going to stream unseen. So
we shall see.
Don't
appreciate y'all listening. We'll
AMC.
be back with we'll be back with a pretty classic episode next week. Appreciate y'all.
My God.